That might be. Problem is, I can never really check. Oh, it is.
Is this live on YouTube?
I think so.
No. Put it off.
Yeah,
it is. It is.
It is. It should.
And it's live.
Let me do that.
Hello and welcome to the Beer Fridge Wankcast.
Beer Fridge Podcast. Hello and welcome to another weekly episode of the Beer Fridge Podcast. Real beer, real breweries, real opinions. As always, if you've listened to this episode, make sure you subscribe, hit that ding-a-ling-ling to be notified of all the latest episodes. Show your official support by heading to patreon.com/Beer Fridge Podcast. My name is Gavin. I've got my drinking buddies and Callum, Flip Flop Magoo, and Gilroy. Evening, boys.
Good evening.
Good eve.
How are we doing?
That intro is awesome, by the way.
That's good.
See what that was?
It was so funny.
It's the Beer Fridge Wankcast. It just cracks me up.
Every time.
Cracks me up. I did it with a different one. So if you remember when we did when I used this platform before, I had another one. I used that intro and I just remembered I had that. So we are live on YouTube at the moment, I believe. So if you're on YouTube, hello, good evening, welcome to the podcast. Mersey Beers, good evening, sir. Hope you're doing well. We're going to start off as we normally do, go around the virtual table and see what we're drinking to start off this fine evening. This is kind of our end of year because we might do a podcast next week, we might not, we might be hanging from Christmas Day, so we'll see how things go. It could easily be the last one of the year. So then, who's starting us off? Delk?
Cool. I have a export stout from our good friends at Bullhouse Brewing. It's called El Capitan, and it's a great name. However, Flip-Flop Magoo does love his Crocs, mate, 100%. And
Flip-Crop Magoo.
Flip-Crop Magoo. I was totally in the mood for a stout, to be honest, today. I know we're going to hit something a bit heavier, I'm guessing, after everybody's going to start. This is delicious. Coffee, chocolate notes. It's really, really smooth, like super, super easy to drink. I thought it was a wee bit milder than it is. It's actually 7.5%.
Waff.
So
Sneaky.
it does not taste that way. It's a middle 4-5% at best in terms of, like, there's very limited booziness. It's just delicious, to be honest with you. So come back when it warms up a little bit more and I'll probably be able to give a wee bit more tasting notes. Sound
good, mate. Gilroy, what you got, son?
I, myself, in the great words of Gav, I'm having Sure Shot because I got them for December's box from Bruiser.
That a lot, actually, don't I?
Mm-hmm. I'm having Busy Doing Nothing, which sums me up. It's a pale ale. It's only 3.4%, but it does contain BBC, Citra BBC, that is. Before
Really?
you start. Vic Secret
Same
and
that.
Mosaic Cryo. And it's the
Staying well away
colour.
for the BBC.
Now that we've got visuals, the colour on it's incredible. It's just smashing.
To be fair, that
24%.
doesn't even do it justice to how it looked when you poured it in the can 15 or 20 minutes ago.
It's
Show
so
us that
bright.
again, Cal. I was not looking. There you
It's
go.
lovely.
Boof.
Oh, it is.
Whoa,
Oh, full screen.
Full screen. Full
Wait,
screen.
wide screen, oh boy.
I can't get
Good,
my.
it's
No wide,
Super
no wide
wide.
enough.
super wide. It's got bags of flavour in it for only being 3.4%. The body's there to back it up as well. It's got the body of something, I would say maybe 4, maybe even 5%. That's what it kind of comes through as. We know Sure Shot are excellent at kind of pales and IPAs, and this is another example. It's packed full of flavour. I would could sit and happily have 3 or 4 of them, no problem. Of a Sunday or something like that, when you're kind of, I suppose, taking it easy, if you like.
Yeah.
Perfect starter beer. It's excellent. Really, really
Sounds-
good. Props. Sure Shot.
Props indeed. Go on then, Cal.
I am on Wasted Degrees. That's their seasonal batch Evergreen Amber, 5.5%.
Sorry.
And this is an annual tradition, I believe, for Wasted Degrees, and it's a spruce brew. This time they've incorporated a wee bit of rye in there and Chinook hops. So yeah, this one it's quite west actually. Malty, bittersweet, I would say, is the flavour. But it's really, really nice. Yeah, it's got a decent body, but it's quite light. Lovely. Setting me up nice for my supercharged IPA later on.
Indeed. It's going to be a belter. Look forward to it. I'm an old friend.
Oh, mate. Is that Tremens?
It certainly is.
Oh.
You've been going on about it for the last fucking how many weeks, and I seen it today in the bottle shop, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm getting it. I'm going to grab it."
I had my delirium Christmas beer at the weekend. Oh, so good.
I was like, "Stuff it. I'm going to get it." I've not had it in ages. I've not had it in a long time, and you, like I said, you keep going on about it, and I was like, "I'll grab it again." And
I don't know what it'd be like in the bottle, but it's well, how sessionable is it?
8.4.
No, but I'm saying, what
but-
does it taste like?
8.4, but it's maybe like a 4.6.
Aye.
It feels like a 4.6.
Mate, it's
Maybe a 5 at a push.
when I had it in the draft, that was the thing. I had basically necked half a pint of it, and I was
Aye.
like, I wonder. I thought this was a bit heavier than this, but I was like, maybe I've picked the wrong beer. And Dan asked the guy, and that's what he said, 8.5%. And I was like, oh, somebody's going to be doing the backstroke later.
Like it packs a punch. It gives you like a wee kind of tingle in your tongue initially, coming from the 8.4, but no in like an overly boozy way, just like a warming way more than anything. So it warms your tongue up a wee bit. Almost, it's just so smooth, nice and sweet, a wee bit of fruity, kind of spicy almost in the back of it, and it's just for 8.4, it's a weirdly a very light beer. Color on it's amazing, and I agree with you, mate. Like I can imagine this on draft just being fucking phenomenal.
I'm sticking, like, I'm saying a sweeping statement, but I'm Captain Flip Flop for the reasons. But right now, it's, dare I say it, it's like the best beer I've had all year. Like, because it was draft and just perfect, man. Just perfect.
It's cracking stuff indeed. Last week we obviously had the monster of a podcast. Was it 2.5 hours or something?
Just snuck under the 3, I think. But,
I wanted to listen to the start of it on Spotify, and I switched it on, and it was like that 2 hours and 47 minutes left. I was like, oof.
Nope.
I didn't remember that.
It didn't feel that long.
Nah.
Until we were finished, I was like, whoa. And then, in fact, I lie. It wasn't until the next day, and my computer tried to fucking download it and put it in my editing tool. It was like taking forever in a day just to get it done. But no, it was good fun. We I think we've came to the decision that we shouldn't do that going forward on a Tuesday.
No, it's a Friday night number next year, that's for sure.
I think we should alter our recording evening.
Amateurs.
You were hanging
Amateurs.
as well. Don't
I
even.
was not. I was all right. Much worse come Sunday, but that was all through my own doing. It had nothing to do with Tuesday. It might have been some of the remnants of Tuesday, in fairness, but
I was still hanging.
I think these are the kind of sacrifices we have to make for the good people of the.
No, they are.
United
Absolutely.
Kingdom.
Absolutely.
And I think, in fairness, we did a half decent job. I think we did a pretty
Half
decent
decent.
job.
As in half
Beers
of it
were
was
tremendous.
Aye, the first
all
half,
the beers were excellent.
all the beers were tremendous. It's more or less the first half we were soberish, and in the back end, I don't know.
Yeah.
Back end was backstroke.
Yeah, indeed, it was backstroke. It was good fun. You guys had the Anchor beer, which looked unbelievable. 2019.
It was a very tasty beer, but it got overshadowed by the Sinister brew that came in late doors, to be honest. It was
I know. We definitely had to rein that in to not give that the beer of the year. Just to,
I think that would have been
Recency bias might have crept in.
that was just pure excitement. I think that one.
absolute, absolute chubby for the Sinister beer. That was like, what was it, 12.1% or
It was
something?
12%. It was a braggot. It was called a combination of beer and mead.
Oh,
So,
But the Anchor was still like a highlight because of tradition, and I know Gil's had it stashed for, I think, dare I say it, but that might have been, was that the one that you bought? Because I remember speaking to your sis about, it must have been the year after then, because she was like, oh, what do I get? And I'm like, Anchor Steam beer, if we can find them, because we were hunting for the 2021, was it?
2020, aye, we got that. That's what I've got. That's the last one. I got the original, the 2019 from Beats and Leith, and I got some wee bottles of it as well to have at the time, and then I had all the 4 wee bottles and kept the Magnum.
Mm-hmm.
So, aye, classic for sure.
And the quad, the Belgian quad from
Stuart, the Project 7 one was very nice.
Phenomenal as well.
Again, kind of overshadowed by the Bragat, but it was lovely. It was all the beer we had was excellent. Even Fierce's West Coast again, which was superb. And I had another.
Never really got a chance to talk about that, did we?
That was my kill your curie drink on Sunday. Swiftly followed by the classic combo mint hero milkshake. Which is a real killer cure, and it brought me back to life. That and a small portion of chicken and waffles. Small.
Well, aye.
A mere child's portion, obviously.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough on Thursday to travel up to Newcastle. It was the Works Christmas team do, and it was just an excuse for a piss up in Newcastle. There's only 4 of us in the team. Granted, there's a massive company, but we're going to go Newcastle, so we did. And like Gil, you've been a couple of times in Newcastle, and the craft beer scene in Newcastle is wicked. And I got the chance to go to By the River. That place is fucking tremendous. Cool, by the way, it is cool as fuck. Like I could quite happily spend the whole day there and no move.
Can you imagine when it was like sunny sitting there? Like
I know, and I'm glad I got to go, but bummed at the same time because we walked in and like, oh, it's last orders, and I was like, fuck. But I was like, at the same time, like, I'm glad I'm still here, but I would have loved to just spent a couple of hours there just drinking some of the beer. I was talking to the guy. They've stopped the brewing side of things. They said it wasn't profitable, and they've just packed that in completely. And I think so. Gil, in fact, and Mark as well. When you go in, it was the wee thing on the right side was where the brewing was.
Yes, the far right hand side was where the
far
brewing
right.
was.
Aye, so that's now like a coffee house kind of thing. So they're doing coffee and that in there now. So they've got rid of that the brewing bit, and it's now just like coffee and that. But place is still wicked though.
Aye, friend of pod Jamie was saying that the bit to the left hand side, as you're looking at it, the bit where the container village used to be is currently taken up where it's being given or rented it to the bridge works that's ongoing at the moment. So the container village that used to be there with all the street food and everything currently isn't there. They've moved all that out to accommodate the works because like you can't really expect to be selling any beer there if the bridge collapses on it, you know what I mean? So probably got to, promote fixing the you've got to promote getting the bridge fixed, I think, otherwise it's not going to work. So either they've done all that, so it's gonna, I suppose it's a different place than where it was before, but it's still, I mean, the beer they serve is excellent, it's still got a really good vibe, and it's still in a great location. And it's not the only place, like it's, we've said there's Wylam, there's umpteen pubs, Town Mouse, everywhere. Poorer for who are they? Who were the Russ and the brewery that disappeared? They had their wee tap room underneath. No, the one that went.
Alpha Delta.
Alpha
Delta. Their wee tap room underneath the railway.
That's what I meant.
Archie's was excellent.
Hopefully, full circle stays true.
That's still there.
Although you've just fucking jinxed them massively.
That's what I'm saying.
If they go under next year, fucking on you.
I know.
But the tap room kind of vibe and craft beer vibe in Newcastle is one that's strong, and there's always places you can always get decent beer, even and just off the precinct and things like that. You've got plenty of places to go.
Well,
perhaps equally importantly, you can get a Greg's whenever you like, which is
mate,
to be an absolute winner.
Obviously, that like reminds us of when we went to Newcastle for the darts, fucking many moons ago. Must be about 15.
Many Gregs ago,
and I remember us just like having a Greggasm at the fact that Greg
it was so good
at like 12 o'clock or it must have been, in fact, later. It must have been at 3 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, I did a trip down memory lane and did the exact same thing on Thursday night. I had a Greg's at like 12:30, which was hilarious. But like you said, like even places like near St James's Park, near the football stadium, they're wee kind of your old man kind of old man's the wrong word. Your traditional, there you go, traditional kind of pubs and stuff. But you can still get a decent pint. I managed to get a Lane Brewing beer out of one of them, and then there was another one that had some craft stuff in it as well. Managed to go to a place called the head of Steam and Newcastle Tap. There were two other places that I went to. Newcastle Tap was ridiculous. It must have had, I mean, I text you guys, and I think it had about 8 or 10 cask beers, and then it must have been about 16 taps. Everything through there was Fierce there was Phantom stuff, there was what was it? I managed to get my work colleague to pay for a pint of Verdant, and he wasn't too happy about that when he came. he's like £8. I was like, fucking cheers now. But the beer is proper cool, man. Like I didn't get a great chance to kind of explore things just because I was doing it in the one night, but just in that, from St James's Park down to the river to down by the river, there's so many good places, and I only scratched the surface on it, and I want to go again.
It's a good it's a good night out city, isn't it? Like as in, like it's got really good vibe for, like as soon as it gets dark, the place kind of comes alive. And,
definitely.
Like you say, whatever you want to do,
there's plenty to go around that isn't like the Stag Do, Hen Do, fucking Mong Central, and the you know what I mean though. These places that are for the youngsters, if you like, old bastards like us.
Speak for yourself.
Fuck you. But it is, no, you're right though, because it's weirdly, I actually struggled to find a Wetherspoons or see a Wetherspoons on the night. It wasn't until the next day when I was waiting on my train. I was like, I'll try and get a cheap breakfast and managed to find a Witherspoons to get a cheap full breakfast. £6, by the way. I've not had a breakfast out there in years.
Mm.
There's a reason why, because I know what happens.
Yeah. The breakfast is
mate.
probably the best meal you get out of Spoons, to be fair.
Yeah.
So.
The only thing that's microwaves the beans, and I think I'm alright with that.
I can deal with that. I could deal with that. Mersey Beers, Crown Pasto, and Town Mounts.
I'm with you, Mersey Beers. Old man pubs for the win.
100% tradition.
Aye. I can't remember the one we went into near Tynecastle, and it was cracking.
Tynecastle?
St James's Park, excuse me. Tynecastle. What the fuck have I called that?
Tynecastle, because it's on the
Tyne.
Tyne, aye.
on the river.
And it's proper wee, and like everyone's all squashed up, but that's cool though. It's a cool vibe, and like you get decent beer. The beer, like I said, the beer was all right. They look after their beer in Newcastle from the places I went to anyway. And I am eyeing up going to Newcastle next year definitely because there's one of the We Are Beer events there, is there no? Or have I made that up? I think I made that up.
I think you might have made that up.
I think I made that up.
Yeah,
Oh,
this is good, by the way.
Seems to be a theme.
Nah, it's
Making things up.
pretty much what I do all the time, to be honest. I can just make up this fucking podcast half the time.
That's it. Correct.
I've moved on.
Go on then, Sam.
And it's Wasted Degrees again, and it's Outlaw.
We would never have guessed your transition was so fucking seamless. We never heard anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
What Elon? Sorry. Oh, we wasted degrees in there.
Outlaw 1899 stout.
It's funny. I'm just going to. Sorry, Cal. The funny
on.
thing is, right? He's getting his beer review and what he's drinking, right? That fucking bastard there's writing his Christmas cards. Is that what one's that? Is that one of the? Is that one of the proper ones or one of the funny ones?
I don't care anyway. They're all in grey envelopes. All the same.
No, fair enough. Sorry, Cal. Carry on.
No, you're all right. This is quite black IPA vibe. Although it's called a stout, 5.5%, but it's hopped with El Duradu. So there is a bit of hoppiness there. It's kind of like the stout end of a black IPA. But it's super smooth coffee, but you're getting that hoppy bitterness. It's not just like coffee or burnt toast bitterness. You're getting that hoppy bitterness at the end as well. Tremendous. Really nice.
You went a bit Wasted Degrees.
Mate,
they were mentioned
knocking it out of the park.
They were mentioned on the fridges as kind of ones. I say ones to watch, but ones that were. Well, I don't want to say honourable mentions, like when we're talking about Brewery of the Year and all that kind of stuff. But like,
they were in the bracket, were they?
They were, but you've got to admit,
so
when they hit the bracket, they are. I don't think they were at the level.
Gil, this is that's aimed at you, Gil. Got you covered, son.
What it is actually what it is. They're not telling you this because we keep trying to keep you doing as talent on this podcast. It's actually fan correspondence I'm filling in.
He's
autographs.
Doing your fan letters.
Many autographs. You've got to write back dedicated fan correspondence. That's the one thing you've got to foster if you're going to succeed as a digital content behemoth.
What you didn't see before,
correspondence.
He's putting them on envelopes just now, but what you didn't see before was the rolling the ink on the old nipple and impressions on all the cards there for all his loyal fans.
With a link to the OnlyFans included.
No.
Oh dear.
It's actually a cross between risky content and mukbang. It's called Only Rolls. Could be me eating, could be me with my t-shirt off. You don't know. That's the
dice. That's the dice that you roll. And speaking about rolling dice, I think I did this with my bruiser box for this month for December.
No.
You went sure shot. I went with Pentrich. proponents of the big beer, you know, it's and what I was kind of expecting, given it was December and stuff, I was kind of expecting, you know, half a dozen behemoth stouts and, you know, 12% hazelnut chocolate latte, fucking whatever. But I was pleasantly surprised at the variation and beers. You know, several IPAs, a double IPA. I think only one stout and a black IPA, which I had. It was just drinking this tonight kind of reminded me. But the one I had it on Saturday night, and oh my days, what a beer! I'll get the name just now.
I've nearly panned my boozer box already. I think I've got 2 beers left. I got the I got the Bruiser birthday beer box thing. And in fairness, like they've all been pretty decent.
Any standouts? Any proper?
The one
knockers in there.
The one that's made me go, yes, that's fucking good shit right there. Is the Lunar Liquid, Gravity Well and Baron, 8% double IPA. Funnily enough, there's 3 dippers. So there's that one, and then there's the 32 Monkeys in Space, which is again another 8% dipper. In fact, this was really good as well. Full Circle, Missing Link, and then the last dipper is the Asteroid Theory. Again, another dipper, 8%. Neon Raptor and Drop Project. That was the one. That one was a wee bit funny. There wasn't nothing wrong with it. I need to get the tasting notes. They've used something in it a wee bit different, which made it different. Funny that, isn't it? Which I wasn't sure whether I liked it or not. But aye, decent box. You find your notes, Cal?
Yes, it's called Seek the Boneyard.
Nice.
And it's I'll show it there. Yeah. Seek the Boneyard. I think Pentrich's cans are always a wee free ad for the big swallow there. Yeah, Pentrich's cans are always it's that kind of simple stuff.
Aye.
Have they have
because they've changed some of their cans, haven't they?
Cans. I have to be honest, Mersey beers. I've had this is my second Pentrich box, and I haven't had an oxidized can, as you put it, yet. So fingers crossed I don't have any in this one.
Hope so.
Have they changed some of their cans? Have they got like some artwork and stuff on it now? Have they?
Yes, they have.
I'm sure I've seen it. I wasn't
some of them,
really sure if I liked it or not.
See, I wasn't sure whether it was just like the seasonal ones, but I quite liked it. Yeah, there's most. In fact, it was 8 cans I got, and 5 of them were the kind of new style. So that's there we go.
I did this again.
That's it there.
Woohoo! It was the fact it was the big dog and all that on it and stuff, and I was a bit like. I quite like the simplicity of it beforehand, but if it is just specials or whatever, then that makes sense. So.
Yeah, but that shows you the range of styles. So I've got Hoppy Red Ale, Black IPA, Pale Ale, an Export India Porter, Breakfast Stout, a Dunkel, a double IPA, and an India Pale Ale. So, yeah, I've always kind of thought of Pentrich as kind of a one-trick pony with their big, statement beers like Tippas and Imperial Stouts and stuff. So it's good to get a range of styles. Hoping not to get any oxidized cans. No, I've had that comment.
I'm going to run and get the beer that I'm guessing we're going to.
You go and grab that because I've before the podcast, I was looking at a couple of things, some funny bits, some things to talk about, and whatnot, and I stumbled across funny beer reviews.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if I should do this one, but I'm going to do it anyway. There's a strong chance I'll get a look of you should delete this, Gavin, but I'm going to go for it. This one is Victory Whirlwind Wit Beer.
Victory Whirlwind.
Whirlwind Wit Beer.
Whirlwind
Wit Beer. Granted, there's a strong chance this is from a brewery in America because it came from a .com website. Anyway, it says V is for victory, V is for vagina, V is for Victory Whirlwind.
Fucking hell.
Oh no, we're not finished. Oh no, you know what? That'll do on that one.
Right, okay.
Because if that
You need to send it. You need to send it to the group, and so that we can appreciate
Are
it.
they brutal, are they?
Is
Another
this cancel material? Is it?
No, I don't
Yeah.
think so.
Aye. If you've to go then aye, it's definitely 100%.
There's another comment that said, so this is in regards to Coors Light, so it is from an American website in this one. What does sex in a canoe and Coors Light have in common? They're both fucking near water. Oh no. And there's more that I picked up, but I don't know if I should do them because some of them are awful. Some of them are awful. And if we weren't on YouTube, then I would do them and I could delete them. But now that this is on and I'm franced, if I can't get into it. It's live. It was hilarious. Some of the comments are funny. Aye, so look, if you're go on Google and just search funny beer reviews, you get some absolute crackers on there. While we do that, we're going to look ahead to this beer. So you've heard me talk about going to Newcastle. One of Newcastle's premier breweries is in the
Premier, even Gav.
Premier.
We're no American.
Oh, we're 100%
Yeah.
American. Premier.
No, fuck off.
We are.
No,
Breweries
Premier.
is Wylam.
Ken, I'm fat, but I'm not fat.
Scott has been lucky enough to
Willem.
visit Willem. What the fuck's that? Now?
Defoe.
And I managed to get a pint of Jakehead on keg, OG, and it was tasting tremendous at By the River. We're now I wasn't lucky enough to find the Imperial version in my travels in Newcastle. However, I managed to find a can today off the back of Scott grabbing, getting some for everybody. I was like, Christ, I can't be the one left out here. So managed to grab one. With all four of us have grabbed a can of this Imperial Jakehead, excuse me.
What a can. What a can. Gold. Love it.
10th anniversary special edition. This is the can I am 100% keeping because it is cool and it's fuck. Who's had the first swig? It looks like yourself, the elk. Will I take wanky Instagram pictures?
Oh,
Somebody's got to keep on top of the Wankstagram.
It was absolutely superb on draft.
You've already tried that, you Christ, of course.
The guys at the Wee Vault managed to get their hands on, or were kindly given, a keg of it to sell at their tap room just off Haymarket in Edinburgh. The cupboard, as I call it when I'm walking past.
Right.
But it's perfectly functional. That was the first time I'd actually been in it for a drink. I'd been in to look at cans before, and it was always too busy. So somebody particular as slender as I am has difficulty when people are sitting all the way along the side with plus anoraks, and then me trying to look at beers. So I've been in there very fleetingly, but I was in there. It was quite quiet, thankfully, on Sunday evening. And they had the Imperial Jakehead on, and I had a third of it, and it was spectacular then. So I can only imagine the can will be just as good.
Oh my god!
Look at that.
That looks superb.
It's
Better on a good
ridiculous, man. Well, you want a shot as well?
Live. And it's live.
No seen.
Shot caller.
Let's saw. Oh, look, a wee amber glass, a big swirly glass, a full circle glass. Marky boy, come on in, Sam.
I'm on an old school one here. We cheeky.
Oh, that's a
lockdown glass.
Lockdown 2 times.
What a smell, man.
What a taste.
I've not tried it yet.
Evening, James. Spreading the word, Cal. That is
James, if you're listening, James, if you're on, there should hopefully a box will arrive undamaged to you.
It's arrived today. He's told me he's sent it up when I text him. He said the home brew's arrived.
Oh,
good.
He's currently sitting on the pan because he drank it with his dinner and he's shitting through the needle.
Oh, it's not hard.
Lies.
Imagine eating something so terrible that it's going to ruin the beer.
Nah, not at all.
I actually
No,
got.
not at
I'll give you some. I'll
It's
give you the
homebrewed
tasting.
craft beer. It's not swill.
I'll give you the. I'll give you the tasting notes after we move off Jakehead from a couple of brewers that managed to taste the beer for me. So I got
Well,
some-
that'll be good. Looking forward to
A
that.
got
couple
some
of
bottles in the
people
fridge,
that
I'm
know
gonna
what
need
they're
to open
talking
them
about. That'll be good.
I got some legit feedback on like you knuckleheads after drinking 8% Belgian quad.
Did we try it last week?
All right, there you go. That's
There you go. And you can't
Are you
remember.
trying?
Aye.
Are you trying to say that our taste
No, we
buds
never
are
tried it
similar
last week.
subjectivity? Aye, you did.
Did we?
So
Anywho,
Imperial
How many times
Jakehead,
do you have to say you to have a conversation with somebody about that?
Let's get.
Imperial Jakehead.
Come
Hops
to the
wise,
bench.
hops wise, we're looking at Citra, Centennial, Chinook, and Simcoe. This is just
It's a West Coast hot bill, to be fair.
It isn't overly west on the taste, like.
No,
but,
it isn't. It isn't. Which I'm
Juicy.
chuffed about.
Aye.
Because I think
West Coast
the-
at 10%.
aye, that's what I was just. I mean, we had the double Oregon Trail. We mentioned that last week, and that was just too much for me. Too west, at that ABV. So I think a 10% west would be like annihilation.
aye.
But this is delicious. It really is.
Now here's Captain Flip Flop at his finest. Is it green?
Orangey.
No, not for me.
I don't think it's green. I think
No,
it's
but I mean like
It's
It
heavy on the. I'm getting heavy orange vibes, like heavy on the sort of
there's a bit of tartness
pithy.
to it.
Pithy is
Pineapple.
the word is that we should probably use.
when he gives.
Aye, yeah.
Huffington.
And I'm not taking the piff.
I don't know. I don't think it's too green.
No, I'm just being devil's advocate. 'Cause
I think
it's
well,
delicious.
the weird thing is like, well, they should
When
be
did it,
relative.
when
They
did it
should
go in the can? It doesn't tell you.
all be the same age. You'd suspect.
Well, it's got to be
Or
for the same
bottled.
run, surely.
They've done one run of this. Like, let's be honest.
Aye.
So
But I can see why you're saying maybe green. There's maybe a hint of that greenness on the back end, like a very small hint.
I'd say the draft experience was. I don't think on draft it was as sweet as that.
You think?
It is
I
quite
think
sweet.
it's quite. I think it's quite sweet. But then again, I'd had the defense of my taste buds and the beer, the difference between the draft and stuff. I had a cloudy lemonade before that. So cloudy lemonade straight to Imperial Jakehead. It was super kind of obviously sherbet lemons, and then you're on to a proper kind of oomph but naturally flavoured beer without any lemons or anything in it. So you're in Vault City, so you're there was American double barrel aged stouts in there that we tried. There was maple, various other bits and pieces, mango.
Oh, no.
It was all over the place from a taste buds perspective, kind of in and amongst that. So,
See, I think Vault's got to be a start of the night for me. Like,
although the stouts though are definitely end of the night fodder. They're good once you've kind of got fed up with drinking.
Well, there's an excuse. You come off the train. You come off the train. You go to the wee Vault, get some sours and maybe a cloudy lemonade, and then you disappear away into the town, get smashed, and then on the way back to the train, you stop in for a wee maple imperial 12%er.
That's what
you
it
stop
was like.
it. Oh, you grab yourself an Imperial Jakehead.
If you take your good friend with you who is can he see past and was drinking when we met at 12 was in Fierce drinking was it 13, 14, 15 maybe percent kind of double barrel aged bourbon thing, a third of, and I'm like, you are half your heat. But so taking somebody with you who can't go past a stout without trying it means you also get to try it. So
It's not bad.
It was really good. But Imperial Jakehead, because we're all tasting it, we should give it the full beans. I think it's excellent. I think
it's lovely.
an imperial version of a beer done properly that could have went so wrong, given how much prestige a beer like Jakehead has, and it's kind of in the pantheon, if you like, of beers in terms of a core range beer. It's capable of winning. Going back to our sober conversation for last week, ish. That's a core beer that isn't really a core beer, if you like. It could win things.
Is that for you? Is like so? Off you saying that, in my head, I'm like putty, alligator tugboat, this like that kind of sits in that bracket.
I would put it in that kind of level of this is an imperial version of something. Like if I was to compare it to putty, I would say this is a better run at making something. Making
it's
an
better
imperial version of an already excellent beer.
Yeah, I mean, I think the putty one, it disappointed me to start with, but it was one of those that I was glad that I got 4 cans because that improved massively the longer it was in the can. But this one's good to go straight away. And that sort of green flavour that you're talking about, Mark, that was like off the chain amplified at the start with the triple putty. Not so in this one.
Like for me, I get like with this, I'm like oranges, tangerines, a wee bit of melon coming through. There's the back. There's a bit of a bitter bite, which I'm assuming where you're getting the comment of the greenness coming through, which I think is fine. I don't think it's overly green. I think there's enough bitterness there to go back to the original Jakehead, which is quite West Coast. If you're being honest, it is quite a West Coast IPA.
But it's got enough fruitiness. It's got enough sweetness that it kind of dials down the bitter. 100% for me.
Agreed.
I mean, obviously, I mean, it's a 10% IPA. It's obviously going to be bitter. You know, there's no getting away for that. And I would rather.
No, a wee bit, just a wee bit.
Aye, there's my only.
It's no sweet. It's not too sweet, you know, because I think when you go up that ABV tree, you can either go sweet or you can go bitter, and this is more to the bitter end of the spectrum for me.
I would agree with you. Like my only criticism of it is I don't think it's an imperial representation of Jakehead. So by putting the Jakehead sort of branding on it, because I think Jakehead is more West, but if I like reverse that back into what I'm tasting just now, the Centennial comes through from like a bitterness point of view, but the Chinook and that, like you said, that orange, I'm getting like pineapple for me. It's kind of like
it's probably more pineapple.
Like the sweet, that sweetness that is. I hate using sweetness because like it isn't overly sweet, like you're saying, because the bitter but it's super balanced. I think it's an incredible beer, and
because correct me if I'm wrong, because I said this to you before we even started this. I'm sure the Jakehead is it no like about 8 anyway?
So no, like 7.5 or something.
Aye, so it's already quite a high ABV beer. So like, I assumed because I seen all the posts on Instagram, didn't really pay much attention to them in terms of reading what the ABV was. I knew it was going to be an impy version. I initially expected it to be like 11, 12 because it already sits near 8. So going up to 10, I'm like, it's not a massive jump, but still, it's cracking though. It's fucking brilliant.
Jakehead's actually only 6.3%.
Oh well,
I say only.
I was going to say 6.3. 6.3.
Like I said,
I knew it was pretty heavy, but that's. I like the JK. They've got the lovely. They're doing like the gift sets. That you've got with it, and they're doing.
I noticed.
You get a 4-pack. A 4-pack's only £38. That's all right. And they're doing there's a lovely glass to go along with it. See, it's kind of got the gold on it, and it's got the snakes on either side. It's smashing.
All right, let me see that.
Oh, lovely. Yes. Right. Oh, that's a quality glass. Nice. To answer the question,
No.
to answer your question, James, all of us except Mark, because he was very
I was hanging.
disciplined. He was disciplined and only had small tastes. Unfortunately, one of the bottles was a 500ml, one of the bottles was a 750, and one of the bottles was a litre and a half. And I think Mark had like maybe a glass combined, and then me and Miguel had the rest. So I think it was inevitable that we were going to be bogging the next morning.
It was not a fun night.
Last Jakehead / Wylam merch punt. You can 78 quid, 10 years of Jakehead, the supercharged bundle. So that's 4 cans of the Imperial Jakehead, and then 4 cans of regular Jakehead. But you also get to choose a bottle opener in a leather. It comes in a wee half leather case, or a keychain with a Wylam logo and everything on it and you get 2 glasses that go along with it and a pin as well for your 78 quid.
I mean, that's not too bad.
When Imperial Jakehead's 10 quid a pop.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the one I got today was 11.50. 50.
Upsold.
How interested would you be in doing the old 2 cans opened at the same time, taste test, and then the wee mixeroo?
What do you mean?
As in, like, let's put a third
Imperial and normal.
Aye,
I've got normal in the fridge.
Because I think the sweetness of this would carry the bitterness from the OG.
Oh, you've just nearly.
Anyway,
it has a wee bit of an itch as I get down the can. There's a wee bit.
You're making me want to save half of this to go and grab a normal one.
I wouldn't make you waste it, but it's
no.
how my
But
brain.
if you had 4 cans,
correct.
That's an experiment worth trying.
Correct.
So anybody on for a late Christmas gift, I'm assuming, for pre-Christmas delivery, please order before 1 p.m. on Thursday the 21st, so you've plenty of time.
Plenty of time
to make a decision about the £78 Wylam Jakehead beer bundle for anybody who might be listening.
We're fucking 3 days notice again.
Just send us
I'm not putting it out to anybody in particular. I'm just putting it out into the world.
We'll add it to let's all add it to our stories on Instagram, being like, great Christmas present for those who love craft beer. Wink, wink.
Did you hear the thing? It was about somebody had for their partner had been taking their laptop and Googling various different things that person might then want to be given for Christmas, so that their other half would then be targeted with ads relevant to the Google searches.
No, I'm too stupid to fucking pay attention to ads.
I wouldn't catch that.
Kirsty's just told me, she's like, she sent me fucking links and everything. She's like, this is what I'm wanting for Christmas.
Well, tell her just to buy it. Does it not all come out the same account anyway?
It does, but you've got to go through the charade of arriving, wrapping it, and fucking gifting and all the rest of it. Come on.
Here's a question, right?
Otherwise, romance is totally dead.
Here's a proper tangent, if there ever was one. Right. For you, right? Here we go. This is just simply because I'm a relatively new-ish dad. This is the second Christmas, right? If we go back to when we were Waynes, how many presents did Santa get you? Was it just all of them? Or was it just like, Santa only gets you like 1 or 2?
See, this is the thing. Like, obviously, I kind of remember back to when I believed in Santa, but this is obviously.
Whoa! You've ruined it. You've ruined it.
But this is obviously the quandary that people have got, right? Because the Baines will go back to school in January and say, "Oh, Santa got me this computer console and a bike and fucking blah 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 blah," and then Mong Wayne says, "Oh, Santa got me, a tangerine again." So I think what's generally accepted now is that Santa gets you your big present, and then everything else is your mum and dad.
Right. Okay.
Is that the rules? Is that been?
Well, that's new. That's new to me. My understanding back when Santa was bringing me stuff
until last year, you mean?
was that
Because you had to
Santa
get in
gave
on the
me.
secret being a dad.
Until Blair showed up, aye.
Santa just gave you everything. Like that was my understanding. So like
That's
me-
how I
she's-
would have took it as well.
She's probably
Me
going,
too,
she's,
Mark. Me too.
she's probably going to watch this because we had this
I would have
discussion.
said, stocking, mine was stocking, mum and dad, everything else, Santa was involved.
So
Either totally or as a team effort.
well, we've had this discussion, a heated discussion yesterday about about that. Which
About
was
how involved Santa is in the Christmas gift giving.
we need, we need wrapping the present. And then I was like, she's like, what one is Santa bringing? I was like, what do you mean, what one? I was like, they're all.
More.
What do you mean they're all? They're all? No. Only Santa only brings one. I was like, fuck no.
Santa only brings one. What is he coming out of the chimney for one for? Just Amazon it. For one. Oh, my God.
It's an argument. But anyway,
this is. Aye.
Having just watched the Santa Claus, I can say that according to the Santa Claus, which is the history, we'll put it that way, that it's everything. The
right,
sack's
thank
full,
you. Oh,
and
me.
the sack's full and refills itself. It's
Yeah,
no-
Exactly. Yeah, I 100% agree. But in this snowflake age, it's why
One.
does why no? But why does
It's
why
one big-
does a
one
family
big one.
like like mine that can maybe afford to give my kids a fair amount of Christmas presents or that was cans or a family that's super wealthy that can fucking give them
Give them
everything,
the
or
world.
a family that's not got an awful lot that can only give a few.
Yeah.
Why does Santa discriminate? That's the
Aye.
argument.
Well, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. So it's only one. We've changed our mind. It's only one.
Change the mind. Aye.
We're
I
trying-
just
we're trying.
got told. I got told. James is saying
Well, obviously,
he's
you're
all
going
half
to put up any argument.
been sent to the beer shop and got James a wee bundle. Looking forward to getting his hands on that. And it's a good segue, incidentally. And I'm glad you brought that up, James, my friend, because talking about bottle shops, it was a thing I wanted to bring up because we go around a couple of them throughout the year and put our money into these places. I thought, because we never did it last week, and I thought it was a good chance for us to shout out some local bottle shops because, in fairness, it's fucking tough going.
Oh, why?
It is tough going. If I
mean,
take the example of the wee beer shop, for example, they put a post up, I think about a month ago or 2 months ago, going, look, we're no shutting, but we need ideas of what you guys want and how we can help and blah 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 with whether it be deliveries or whatever it may be. Like, send us your suggestions, and then if we can make some of them work and it is a viable option and a good revenue stream, then we'll do it. So they're always looking for something different to do and just to get sales through the door because it is a tough gig. And one of my favourites is already down the pan in the form of Bottle Grove. Greg, who used to run that, he's now on the other thing. I think he's taking gardening now. Like Christ.
Just shows you.
It just shows you that it's a tough gig. So I thought we could spend a couple of minutes shouting out some of our favourites. I think it's worthwhile considering, like I said, it's tough going.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. It's a hard gig, particularly after COVID, with how obviously all the breweries had to adapt and have an online presence during COVID, or they would have died. And everybody's continued that moving forward. And as somebody that doesn't live close to a bottle shop, I'm still working from home, so it's not, I'm not walking past bottle shops like I used to be on my way to and from work. So the idea of maybe once a month or once every couple of months going in and spending 30 or 40 quid in a bottle shop, I've got Bruiser now.
Yeah.
So I've got this. So I totally appreciate how hard it is for bottle shops. But yeah, let's shout some out. Gil, come on.
Well, I'm gonna be sorry, Gil. I'm just jumping.
You go first.
You mentioned the wee bottle shop, so Niall on that is obviously a big supporter. He still listens, so hopefully I'll catch this one up too. And appreciate the shout. But when I've spoken to him before, the tricky thing is it's keeping on top of the curve. Let's be honest. We've spoken about this before, and we're all going to hit a few different ones in terms of shouting at the shops. But us, the craft beer wanks in us, like, we buy beer based on either trend or style. Let's be honest. Whatever's fresh, whatever's new, we jump in, we buy.
Freshness is the key for me. Like, and that's a long time ago. That's what I learned to do when I went into a bottle shop, was say, what's fresh? What have you got that's new? And then I'll make my decision from that, as opposed to just fucking searching the old shit that's on the shelves. But that in itself's an issue because as a bottle shop owner, you've got to say to yourself, like, well, what am I going to buy? Because you've got to buy all this shit. Yeah. And you've got to buy all this shit for the brewery and hope that it sells. And then if it doesn't sell, you're selling at a loss. You've got to put it in your discount bin, or you've got to, put it on Facebook and say, I've got this at fucking half price or whatever, and it's a nightmare.
What I know Niall does really well is that he's got really good relationships with the local breweries. So he ties in with Phil and that at Simple Things, and Dan and James and that at Overtone, and whoever it is, like that. He's getting the stuff ready to rock. And then one thing he does really well, and he's suckered me in a few times, is here's what I've got coming, or here's what's just landed, and I really appreciate that. Obviously, but that's Facebook, it's marketing, that's his time and all the rest of it that goes down. So he does a really good job. The other one,
class.
What was that?
The emails he sends are really good. I would say it's up there with some of the best food bottle shops. I would say him, and I think I'm in pretty decent company here to say that him and the House of Trembling Madness have got probably the best and most educational and enticing emails on what's available and what's coming up. He does a really good job with that stuff. I really like reading take out a wee wander through the emails that come through every week to see what's happening.
Also, while we're talking about this,
takes a lot of time over them as well.
If you are watching live, in the comments, let us know what your favourite bottle shops are as well, because there might be a couple that we missed while we're talking about them. We want to make sure we're covered.
We've already had a shout out for Red Carpet Colin, the Caledonian craft beer merchant. So,
what a guy though,
Colin. But you better get hoovering it for the next.
Exactly. Yeah. We'll be there. We'll be there early next year. We're going to have our James is going to be in tow as well. So,
lovely.
Yeah, we're going to have a great day. But I mean, obviously, us being in the central belt, it's either Edinburgh or Glasgow, which is why the Caledonian Craft Beer Merchants good being in Dunfermline, kind of a bit out of the road. But yeah, so Edinburgh for me, it's High Spirits.
I like High Spirits. It's probably I know there's loads of examples down south, Gav. So there's plenty of examples of the Londi of the world that have got good craft beer.
You're right. It's like long distance. Got a fucking massive.
We don't have a convenience store that offers the selection of craft beer that High Spirits does. And it's no hassle. You can go in there and just pick what you like, like you're in a shop. They've got fridge versions and shelf versions of everything. They rotate it pretty well, and there's always new stuff in. And it's within convenient distance of everywhere else. However, special mention, and I think I could see Flip Flop Magoo's Wrinkles Wrinkling just slightly outside the Edinburgh catchment area. If you spoke to them there, they'd probably tell you to run and jump if you said they were Edinburgh. Would be Beer Zoo, Porty, and Beer Zoo Dunbar.
Yeah.
Beer Zoo is excellent. I've never had a bad experience in Beer Zoo either. Never. So if you're in that kind of
always
area,
happy to chat. Always happy to talk about what's new and what's fresh and what's coming in. Indeed, I've been down there.
They have a lovely dusty. They have a lovely dusty special bottles section as well in Beer Zoo, which is excellent for those that like an aged ale every now and again. There's always some cool fancy stuff in their repertoire. They always do a really good job at buying up some of that stuff, and it's there if you're looking for something a bit special.
Mark, you're obviously going to these places pretty much daily.
Because you're an alcoholic.
Because you're an alky.
He's a rich alky. He can go to a bottle shop every day and buy tippers.
You're always,
If I daft.
you're always popping your head into these places. Like,
Speaking of, this is getting
Where-
better as it warms up.
it's fucking
It
regular.
is.
Where the plate, like, what other places should we north of
So,
the border?
Ones that obviously I look after Edinburgh, but I'm going to shout a couple of Glasgows as we go through here as well. So Edinburgh wise, like a few that have jumped out, the Beer Hive down towards Stockbridge, the guys in there. I've got the Scottish selection of beers like unreal, so I would highly recommend. Obviously, Gilroy, you mentioned Beats all the time, so if you're down that way in Leith, but if you're in Leith, Cornelius beer shop, bottle shop is just as well stocked as well as the Leith bottle shop. I would highly recommend those two as well. If you're a wee bit closer to town, on Thistle Street, there's a cheeky wee bottle shop across from like Fisher's and whatever that wee place is called Bon Vivant, which is it's a really small.
Bon
Bon
vivant.
vivant.
And their Scottish selection, they've tended got loads of camper and camper van and pilot and stuff like that, rock and roll. So, loads of good stuff. So I would highly recommend them. Obviously, I'm trying to obviously I spend more time in Edinburgh because I cover the East Coast. If you're in Dundee, Discover Beer. I would highly recommend Discover Beer. If you know Ian, that used to rock with 71 and stuff, he always recommends when I've been up in Dundee. It's literally down the road from a client of mine, so it's a really easy wander in, and they've got loads of stuff.
I literally could not be a beer salesperson because doing the job that I do now, starting about London and whatnot, anytime I go past a bottle shop, I'm in. I'm in and I'm spending like 20, 30 quid and I'm like, yep. And I come back and I've spent my money and I've fucking earned the day.
What's the one in Pitlochry? Is that the Drinkmonger?
Drinkmonger there. There's also Drinkmonger in... There's Royal Mail Whiskies, which is them in Edinburgh. There's also a Drinkmonger in Broadsfield Place. There is the original, for me anyway, because I used to work in the south side, is Great Grog. The grog shop is tremendous. Their festival things and the tasting sessions that they do are always well sought after. There's obviously
if you're doing
the Salt Horse. I know that it's bottle shop but it's bottle shops as well stocked, if not better stocked than the bar is.
It's got a bar.
It's got a bar as well, but the Salt
you can
Horse
drink it in
tremendous.
house, which makes it nice.
Do both. It's very good. And then Glasgow, because I know you're going to go back to Glasgow again, is the growler that grunts,
of course,
and Red Zone on a Sunday.
Oh, right.
So if you're going to go in there and sit in Red Zone on a Sunday is spectacular. Go and grab a few beers, and I now have potentially a contact that's through there at Università, which I might tap up for a grunt and growler Sunday, and a couch, a couch to pass it on afterwards, because I'd love to go through there and do the Red Zone Sunday through at the grunt and growler would be spectacular.
The only problem is that
James.
The only problem is that he's a Bears fan, which is a bit.
No, that's fine.
That's not a problem. That can be overcome. Because anyone's going to be better than the Eagles.
100%.
At the moment,
James, good night, mate.
Cheers, man.
Merry Christmas to you, my friend, as well.
See you and hug my knee.
Exactly. Good lad. Obviously, I'm going to
looking forward to driving for the Great Swally, because that would be good, eh?
100%
drives everywhere else. You may as well drive us to and from the Great Swally, no?
What he's proposed now that he's went away, I can say this. But what he's proposed is that we go to his, and then his fabulous wife will drive us to the Big Swally, and then pick us up at the end to the Great Swally, and pick us up at the end and take us home.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm now coming. Obviously, I'm going to cover kind of bottle shops in the south. Funny that, seeing as I lived in here. The ones for me that I go to 9 times out of 10. Beerorama. No? Beerorama. Give a shout out to them. Bottle and Jug in Worthing.
Waitrose.
Buy some beers. I didn't slag beer, man. Shut the fuck up.
I can't.
The farm.
Acado.
The farm's the next one. Middle Farm is up there. Middle
Amazon.
Farm is. I'm actually just going to fuck you two off in a minute. Middle Farm.
Sorry.
They supply purely local Sussex beers. The brewery has to be in Sussex for them to be in there, which is awesome. Granted, the last time was fine. They had a good selection. The last couple of times I've been there, I've been a wee bit disappointed with the selection of beers, but it's getting a better.
But you need to keep going. I mean, if it's purely Sussex, that's obviously
It'll
something
be based
you
on
need
availability. Yeah.
exactly.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
I keep going every time because I've got beaked. They have the beak beers. There's the Abyss stuff. I mean, there's the Unbarred. Fucking Christ. There's Burning Skies.
Sussex is hardly a shit county for.
No, it's hard, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm being a bit of a fucking snobby prick, if I'm being completely honest. So Middle Farm, stopped there too many times coming back home, and then in my travels around London, a couple of places I need to shout out because I just somehow seem to stumble across them. Mother Kelly's, there's a few outlets around London specialising in the kernel stuff, and the other one is Clapton Beer. Is again another one that have a couple of outlets staggered across London. And I just purely by accident, I think my sat nav just knows I'm an alky.
Yeah.
Does it just pop up? Bing, 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 bing.
No, it just always takes me past them. I'm like, oh, there's that Clapton Craft again. Oh, I'll just need to go in. I'll just need to go and spend another £5 on the parking.
It's
Fucking-
funny, like how your sixth senses does, like your spidey senses take you to like bottle shops. Like Lynn's was saying that, like when we were away, we would used to walk past, and I would walk past and be like, "Oh, there's the Delirium bottle shop. We'll just go in here." Or there's a wee, and she's like, "How did you know?" And I'm like, "Google."
It
But
was
other
me in Barcelona and Madrid as well. It was the same. It was like onto Google for all of half a second. It's like, oh, there's a beer place on the way that we've not.
No.
I hadn't even accounted for. We must
Did
go.
you know? There's a beer right
Must
next to
visit.
where we're fucking going. 2024 beer. I hate fucking New Year resolutions and all that shit. They're a waste of fucking space. But for the sake of content, any beer resolutions for 2024?
Are you one? The killer question is for a certain follically challenged gentleman. Is are we?
Yeah.
Are we going dry-January or what are we doing?
No.
I'm 100%. No.
Are you in? That means I
Aye.
need a power of drinking between now and the 31st.
Yeah, we
Well,
need
I've done
to
it.
make it up for you.
I've done it the last 2 years, so I'm like,
I would like to have a proper bash at it. I think.
well, you're saying that now, mate. But
No, I would like it noted. That's why I'm doing it here live, 1
Oh.
hour and 8 minutes in, when there's nobody watching to catch me out. But people will get to watch it back. I'd like to get a proper bash. I think
You know I'm just going to snip this. Snip that wee
that's
bit.
fine. You can snip it if you like, and I'll happily be in tears when it comes to my capitulation.
in fairness,
no doubt.
I did
I'm
it-
gonna get
all
a
these
bash.
people that are loyally following us for our beer related content and banter, they're going to have to rely on me.
No,
in January.
I'm not gonna-
you can still get good
No.
non-alcoholic beer.
Oh, no,
January's
fuck off.
going to be
Sorry,
masculine.
how the fuck did I get left out?
Oh, you not doing it? Are you not doing it? No.
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 Right,
January.
well, what
I
I'm
don't
going
think
to
he's
do,
ever.
what I'm going to do
Just
in
drink-
January
You can drink
Is-
double the beer. That's fine.
is last year I kind of made a half-hearted. I want to explore.
Oh, here we go. It's
I want to explore Belgian beer.
Just wee muir.
Just we. This is me. Just we Muir. I've got a fucking fridge full of 12, 10 fucking % Belgian beers. I'm going to drink them in January and give you all some phenomenal reviews.
Well,
and
January.
and
They will
fuck the
they will
fucking-
not last till January, mate. No chance.
Oh, they will.
4. Maybe
Jakey
2.
Jan. It's going to turn into Jakey January.
Jake January. I'm
It's
going to go.
actually
January. I'm super excited. I'm super excited about this Winking Monk beer. Ordered it without knowing what it was, and it turns out that it's widely regarded as one of the best beers in the world. So, St. Barnabas.
Well, we've had
12.
We've had some. We've had St. Bernard on
draft
in Prague.
right.
Yeah, in Prague, up looking out at the all the government buildings and
Up towards the
Prague.
castle.
It was excellent. It was lovely, tremendous. The beer's excellent. You'll enjoy it massively.
So, and one for you, Mark. When I went onto the St. Barnabas website, there's job vacancies available. So you should.
The funny thing is,
you should flip flop out to Belgium, mate, and become a European correspondent
for one ex-monk. Ex-monk.
Yeah, he's got the hair for it anyway.
Anytime I see a beer job,
I wasn't going to go there. I'd already pulled a follically challenged line, and that was going to be it.
That was the one.
Well, I'm not touching any job opportunities chat via this podcast. That's a no-go. But I'm going to touch the
recording.
I'm going to touch the dry January thing. I don't know, like. I understand why.
It must be an absolute scoosh for you by now, is it not?
No, it's really not. The first, especially when you've got your works night out and that planned on like the 9th or the 10th or whatever it is of January, that'll be fun. But
how the fuck you imagine that?
I'll just go and drink fucking mash gang. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a biggie.
You must have to suspend surely for your worst night out.
Nah, I usually do. Like, I never start on the first because, like, let's be honest, you're drinking into Hogmanay and over and that in the first you drink. So I usually tend to start the 2nd or the 3rd and then go into the 2nd or the 3rd of Feb. But it's not a scoosh. However, I always, the first time I done it, I felt like I needed to do it. And I've said this, like, when we've recorded before.
Yeah, you were getting some severe press.
It was like, on myself, as in like,
it was a challenge. But you took a smidgen of something and a smidgen of a challenge, and you turned it into.
Aye.
I gave it a go 2 years ago, and I got like 3 weeks in, and I was like, "Fuck this." It was good. It was like I felt better, but I was like, no.
See, like it's more of a. It turns mental. Like I do
100%. It's 1,000,000% mental.
I do end up, especially like a Friday night is hard. A Saturday night's hard. The Tuesday, like when we're recording, other than you knobs like taking the piss out it, like the.
Never.
Sorry. Quite rightly taking the piss out it.
Incorrect. You know, because I've got to admit though, like it's got to the stage now where when we done it the first time, like what was that, 3 years ago, 2, 3? Yeah. It must have been 3 years ago. Like the quality of the reason we were doing it, or the reason I done it was one, I was like, I felt like I needed to. I was drinking far too much on a weekly, nightly basis. Like it was getting a bit ridiculous, and having that trigger myself to think, hold on the now, Mark. Like we're going through Christmas and New Year. You've drank every night, but I was drinking every night before we were leading up to Christmas. So it was just like it's
5 o'clock somewhere. Fucking 10 in the morning.
Correct. And it's no holiday drinking either. It's just drinking before the drinking. So that was the main reason. The other reason was like when the way I spun it was the podcast we should be looking at non-alcoholic beers.
Yeah,
the quality was really poor. Whereas last year when I done it, I wasn't doing it for the sake of I felt like I needed to stop drinking alcohol. I was doing it for like just it's a bit of a challenge and all the rest of it. But the quality of the non-alcoholic beer has got to the level now. Like the funny thing is, I had last year was like I was as if I was drinking. I did an Imperial Stout with you boys last year in January.
Exactly. Like see the I don't know if you've seen it. I think they announced or they showed what the mash gang box was going to be for January and Bruiser.
I've already got it loaded in,
and it looks. No being funny, it actually looks decent. I think it's like 10 or 12 beers.
The problem is that for us, we're in the second fucking run in Bruiser, so it's only arriving in the 19th, 20th of January. So,
which is, but I say this to Linz, I think it's perfect because see the first 2 weeks you're not bothered if you can tough it out,
right? Okay,
you're fine. It's
So
it's when it gets
the
near
back
the end
end
of the
that
month,
you're on.
and you're thinking, I've actually done all right here. You know what? A wee beer could be. Because I went
That's what I
through
did.
cases of the Budweiser Zero the first time we done it, right?
Yeah.
And let's be honest, it's fizzy water, right? But it honestly, but it tasted like Budweiser. That's what I kept coming back to. It's the same. It tastes
Yeah.
the same. So I felt like I wasn't losing anything. I was still having a beer, but
I might get a go. I might get.
No,
why don't you do it too, Cal? Stop being
no, fuck off.
stop being a pussy.
He's half talking me in it.
Why do I need to stop being up? I drink.
So it's
on,
all right for you to take the piss at me for doing it, but I can't take the piss at you for not doing it.
Oh, you can take the piss out of me for not doing it if you want.
All right, cool. Well, why wouldn't you do it?
I'm purely looking at it for
Because I enjoy drinking beer.
For a gut perspective.
Oh, but you can drink
I don't
non-alcoholic beer. That's good.
But non-alcoholic beer is pish water.
Not all of it.
No,
By comparison.
I'm.
It is, and it's no good enough for me to want to spend £3.50 or £4 a can on non-alcoholic beer.
Gil, finish what you're going to say because
Just drink Sprite instead.
I think I'm jumping on the same wagon as you. What you're saying there?
It's only it's purely waistline related. Because I'm getting ready to burst out. I'm in pretty much fully elasticated now, and that's a problem. I mean, my belt screams at me every time I come home at night. What the fuck you doing? It's basically trying to. It's like flood prevention.
I have the odd.
It's no longer a muffin. It's the full breed. It's the full breed.
It's the full bakery, mate.
Full loaf. Indeed. I'm awful.
I'm the same.
That's what I'm trying to do. Try to do that and do a wee bit better. If I can kick things off properly, then I can try and maintain some sort of semblance of moderation through the remainder of the year. I think. Or that seems to be
a question to you three. On a Monday, or a Wednesday, or a Thursday, or a Friday, or a Sunday, do you guys of an afternoon / evening finish your work, come home, do you crack open a beer?
1,000,000%.
Not as much as I used to, but
or a wine, Scott, or a gin and tonic, or
it tends to be other things other than beer. But
right.
Sunday's brutal. A murder for having beer on a Sunday.
I don't do that. You know, I have a drink on a Saturday night, and the catalyst behind that is Kirsty doesn't really drink that much, and you know, sitting with your partner watching the telly on a Saturday night or whatever night, and you're fucking and they're sitting no drinking. It's like, you know, so I have a drink on a Saturday night if Kirsty's having a drink, and then I have a drink with you guys on a Tuesday. I didn't drink any other days out of the week.
That's fair enough.
So,
I
enjoy my Tuesday night with you guys, have a few beers, and then on a Saturday night, maybe if we're watching something on the telly or whatever, Kirsty and I'll have a beer, a drink, and or if there's something on, if there's an event, if we're going to a party or whatever, obviously we'll have, but I don't drink daily, so I don't feel the need to curtail. And I'm in the same boat as you, Miguel. Like come January, I'm going to start hitting the exercise train and try and lose a bit of
I probably drink daily. I'll finish work and have a beer or two, and I'm like, I'm that. Hence why I'm like, I should maybe just for a month just no do it. Last week my liver took an absolute fucking doing.
Well, so did mine, and that's why I'm getting worried. An absolute pounding.
I had Saturday night out with the basketball guys, and I had Tuesday with you guys doing the fridges, and then I had Thursday in Newcastle. My liver took an absolute pounding.
They're all legitimate events, though, and that's what happens at this time of year.
Oh no, but in between it, I still had a wee. I still had a.
Does that not? I totally get, but does that not then turn like you have this, like you do all this training? I said that in the group text. You do this training all year for the 2 weeks at Christmas and New Year, but when it comes to January, then you just that's where the tap goes off, and you just say,
but then, but is training every day of the week.
Aye, well, like this time of year it is. Let's be honest.
Aye, no, this time of year has been no fucking.
But I was like that's what I'm saying. Like,
We're getting too deep here.
well,
But it's an important discussion.
not,
I mean, because I can quite honestly, I can put my hand on my heart and say that, of an evening, I don't sit there and think, oh, I want a beer. I need a beer.
No,
Do you know what
I
I mean?
would like now. Like this year,
I'm probably.
agree
I'm
with you,
probably.
but a Monday night I don't drink is a guarantee all year. I would say a Monday, but every like a Wednesday question mark, but Thursday's the start of the weekend. Friday you're in the weekend. Saturday it's the weekend. Sunday you're getting ready to prepare for the week starting. So like, you know what I mean?
I'll have 2 on the Thursday, 4 on the
Speaking of
Friday,
alcoholism, my
Saturday.
glass needs topped up. So,
But that's
Yeah.
how like so
Cool.
that's why when it comes to January, like I feel like it turns into like one it is totally mental, but I know I'm doing it, so I
Yeah.
just it does, and it's harder. Like I work in the beer industry, like I'm in a pub every day of the week,
Aye.
like you know what I mean.
Alright.
And
Yeah, it's
I'm
pure.
talk-
It's
I'm
purely
talking about
like
beer every week, every day.
when I
and
did
all
it.
this.
When I did it with you 2 years ago, I like I said, I think I lasted 2.5, maybe 3 weeks, and I was like, I can't bother with this nonsense. But it is purely mental. You just need to be like, you don't actually need to be drinking. Like what's the point? It's it is what it is.
What I would like to know is like if folk are listening to this, obviously we've got the video of the on YouTube just now, but like when people listen to the actual podcast back, it'd be quite interesting to see how many people are either pro or against it and
Yeah.
whatever. And if you are doing it, I'm in 100%. Like I say, I've already spoke to.
No.
I've already got my mash gang order in for January. That's what I'm getting. I'm going to do. If you listen to, if you follow Jordan on LinkedIn, he did launch his podcast the other like a few months back. Mashley gang, and
I'm a bit disappointed with not being invited as a guest yet.
that'll happen in the new year, that's for sure. But it's just there's a few points that he comes up, and it's quite interesting. So I would listen to this in the Beer Fridge podcast first. But then,
Well, if you've got this far, you've listened to this.
that's true.
You've listened this far. You're 100% listening to this podcast. It is an interesting topic. We spoke about it at the start of the year. We had some good discussions about it. And I'm pretty sure the episode was called "Our Relationship with Alcohol." No doubt, we'll end up pulling something else out in January as well. But it's interesting, and it's something that, as much as we're advocates for the beer industry and the craft beer industry more specifically, like just being honest with yourself and just
the beer industry still includes non-alcoholic beer these days, and the
exactly.
level and the quality of it. And don't get me wrong, there's some really poor representations of it.
yeah.
But
When we've tried them, and like you said, over the
I'll go find
last
some
year
good
and a
ones.
half,
Reece. I'll go find some good ones.
There's good ones coming out. Mashley's smashing it at the park. He's fucking ridiculous.
Well, there's Mashley and the Mash Gang. There's the guys at Low. Is it Low Tide?
Low
do it as
Tide,
well?
and
Low
then
Tide. Jump
I
Ship.
need shout out as well to Wolf and Sheep's Clothing or
Sheep and Wolf's Clothing.
Sheep. Thank you, Jordan. I knew it was
Sheep and Wolf's Clothing.
100%.
Jump Ship. I've got some new stuff coming out as well.
Yeah, exactly. So there's things out there. I think on that note, it's probably a good time to round things up because
You know what my toss up was?
go on then.
Mash Gang, or do I go and get some beer for Heist?
Mash Gang.
Heist January after gaining them big licks of it. I've never had any Heist beer this in 2023. Do I start 2024 off with some Heist just to
Heist
tick
on
that
Bruiser?
particular box?
No.
No,
No,
get on
but
Bruiser
you
Heist.
direct.
I'll get you a box.
But what you need to be looking out for, incidentally, is the People's Choice Brewery of the Year award winners, Bayonets. Alex, he
Why
said,
we need to be an beer.
if they won, they would make a beer in celebration of it, and he's making a dipper. He messaged the other day saying the ingredients has arrived. So he's
Game
going to be
on.
making a new beer soon.
Tremendous.
As a thank you, or I don't know.
It's a
I think it's more-
celebratory brew.
Yes, that's the word. I was like, that's the phrase. For winning the Brewery of the Year award. His trophy is in the mail. Fingers crossed it arrives in one piece.
Without stabbing him.
Without stabbing him or anybody else. So that should be arriving very shortly, and I look forward to that beer being released. We will obviously advertise that to the absolute hills and make sure that every single one of you who listen to the podcast go online and grab some yourself. I'm ignoring that beer. Disco, that was that double disco.
Oh, come on. Nope. Delete.
Oh.
Camera it is. I went down the stairs.
Oh,
I went down the stairs.
I'd get a can of shite.
No, well, I think to myself, look, I've just enjoyed that Wylam beer at 10%.
Why would you?
No, but do I really want to get one of my kid beers out? Or
Drink
just,
non-alcohol.
if you've got to keep them for Bill January.
That's what it's going to be, mate. I've got the inclination. I don't say this very often, but I've got the inclination to start an Instagram account, Bill January. At Bill January.
Mm-hmm. But what he's saying is he's going to spend the whole of January eating nothing but sprouts and drinking Belgian beer. Imagine cleaning that.
No. Chips. Chips.
No.
Sprouts.
Chips and mayo.
Chips.
No.
Sprouts. Chips and mayo and Belgian beer. Maybe with the odd chocolate in there.
Good for the guts.
Good for the guts, indeed. Make sure wherever you listen to this podcast, you have subscribed and hit that ding-a-ling-a-ling to be notified of all the latest episodes. Please, if you can do us one favour. If you can't do any support on Patreon, that's absolutely fine. But drop us a 5-star, leave a comment. It genuinely does help us massively. If you can support the podcast in other ways, you can do so at patreon.com/beer fridge podcast, getting access to exclusive content and some videos and other bits and bobs in there as well. Patreon members will be receiving their beers, homebrew stuff from Mark. Evidently in the next few days. Some has arrived, some will be arriving shortly. So patreon.com/beer fridge podcast from myself, Gavin.
Send us some voice notes on your tasting. If you don't want to do video, send some voice notes on your tasting notes for the homebrew, and we'll play it in the podcast and chat about it.
Get on the Discord page. Links to the Discord page are in the bio on Instagram. Like I said, just search Beer Fridge Podcast on Instagram. You'll find us. Go in the bio, and you can get the link to our Discord page, and you can join the group. For myself, Gavin, Callum, Scott, and Mark, we want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas.
Indeed.
There's a strong chance we'll probably do a fucking tweener podcast because we'll get bored because there's fuck all else to do.
Podcast.
A gooch pod. But until then, Merry Christmas, everyone. See you later. Bye.
Hello and welcome to the Beer Fridge Wankcast.
Word up. Look. Yo. In the metropolis, the all seeing eye steady watching us. Traffic lights on every corner, got cameras and monitors. The city takes no novices, so you better be street savvy. Never fall asleep, the snakes creep gradually. It's hard to keep your sanity, you raise your seeds of family. In this jungle we occupy, forever breeding tragedy. Gun-toting goons put wounds in your anatomy, just to make the cash in their pockets expand dramatically. Shorties running rampantly with no guidance or role models, living their lives like young Tony Sopranos. Cause rappers and crime figures seem to be their biggest idols. I guess that's how the city life influences dudes. Your only prospects are those that Biggie spit in the booth about, selling powder to sniff or getting rich shooting hoops. My advice is to stay away from criminal pursuits and don't let the city's venom taint your innocence of you.